Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where a strange peace has settled upon the world of 1945. And by the world, of course, I mean, really, the Americas, because I'm pretty sure that war rages on elsewhere. And by the Americas, I of course mean South America, because up in the north, there's some kind of civil war going on between Canada and the Canada Popular State, who we are desperate to join us in the MSR, to join us in the Green Dawn. They were the ones who hearkened to the call of our agitators and our operatives and rose up in rebellion against the bourgeois elites of Canada. And you know, this is pretty much the best bit of Canada, I believe, at least in terms of industrial capacity. They definitely seem to be winning. I mean, at one point, I think they were down here. They've conquered a fair amount of territory. There's still a little bit owed down here by Canada. Canada, original Canada, is in the Allies. Look, Canada, Allies, under Mackenzie King. The filthy scumbag. Whereas the Canada Popular State is not in the Allies, but he will not join us. Look, he would rather be a part of the Allies, despite the fact that he is in civil war with Canada proper, who are part of the Allies. I mean, would the Allies even take him? That seems crazy to me. That seems utterly bizarre and just unimaginable. But at the moment, the Canada Popular State believe that they have some sort of chance. We shall have to work on them, our agitators, our agents, and any other pressure we can bring to bear on them, because having the Canada Popular State in the Green Dawn and being able to attack the United States, when that eventually happens, inevitably, from both sides would definitely give us, I think, a strategic advantage, a significant strategic advantage. But meanwhile, peace reigns across South America. The Argentinian state has collapsed under the onslaught of the magnificent Gallardo Magna. The man so cocksure, so incredibly charismatic, that even now, far and wide across the Argentinian state, in a war-ravaged land, even now, shrines to Gallardo are popping up in houses up and down the length of the country. Like a little cabinet, possibly somewhere in the living room or in the kitchen, and when you open it up, it's got like two little doors. You open it up, on one side there's like a poster of Gallardo Magna just looking out across the room with his cocksure grin and his impeccably manicured mustache, winking cheekily at the occupant of this particular dwelling or domicile. Perhaps there's like a little statue of him as well, some trinkets, maybe sort of some artifacts, you know, that some clippings from his mustache, for example, or that thing that nuns wear on their heads. And it is claimed that it is the very habit that was worn by Gallardo when he engaged in one of his legendary activities. Various things like this obviously circulate. A little bottle of tequila given to this individual by Gallardo himself, or somebody close to him, or somebody from, you know, the Chuck Chico's division. But it has a picture of Gallardo on it. I mean, these are the kind of things that go on in conquered territories. Meanwhile, Martin Bustamante has been sent packing in shame. Twice he attacked, and twice he failed to take Buenos Aires. And frankly, he is going to have to do something pretty astonishing to recover his honor in the Mexican Social Republic at the moment. I mean, we know that Martin Bustamante is awesome. I mean, he busts mantis like no tomorrow. He has been instrumental in virtually every war we have fought, except possibly the war in Argentina. But nonetheless, he has a reputation to recover, and he needs to come up with a way of doing that. And we need to decide what we're going to do with this peace dividend, which we are currently enjoying. First of all, let's make sure we don't have anything particularly important that we need to actually attend to immediately. Political power, we've got masses and masses of political power. We should probably start spending this. What I was thinking, I mean, it would be nice to just conquer Uruguay, wouldn't it? But maybe we could try, as they have a kind of greenish tinge to them, maybe we could try converting them to... Wow, they really don't want to be converted to communism, do they? 3% communism. Okay, maybe not. Also, I was thinking that we could maybe do some kind of lightning strike and take Chile before anyone notices. I mean, look, it's so small. Where is the capital of Chile? I think it's here, look, Santiago. So we could take Santiago literally with one attack, assuming we could bring enough force to bear. We could attack from two regions, both of them mountainous, but you know, maybe we could pull off something really astonishing like that. We could maybe like encircle it as well. Let's give it a go. We're gonna give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? We're going to set up a front line all the way along. Front line. There we go. Create a front line, and we want you to take here. And are there any other sort of like major? There's this one. We'll take here as well. And any others? Any others of significance that we need to worry ourselves about? I don't see any, but then frankly none of the Mexican Socialist Republicans have ever been to Chile. We took it at its word and thought that it was either very cold or possibly full of extremely spicy food. And whilst we like our spicy food in the Mexican Socialist Republic, we like Mexican spicy food, not Chilean spicy food. I think that's possibly sensible, or possibly just complete total nonsense. Let's unpause it and let him, Gallardo, move his troops out. He's obviously going to start coming up with some kind of amazing plan. But meanwhile, world news! The Pax Americana. Looking to the conflicts on the other continents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt has announced a new foreign policy program intended to keep the peace at home. Any government on the American continent may appeal to the United States for military protection should they feel threatened by their neighbors. While not a guarantee of any particular state, the desire for peace in America is no longer just a dream, but official American policy. This should make America safer? No! No, I say no, this will make America a more dangerous and volatile place, for it means that the inevitable conflict between the two greatest powers of the Americas is perhaps grown closer. US protection. The United States are now enforcing the Monroe Doctrine much stricter. Besides the political influence they already have on our country, the United States officials now declare that they are prepared to intervene in any conflict between American countries. They are growing powerful, dangerously powerful. We must do something about this. Let us, first of all, set the boffins on some kind of research path. And of course, there can be only one response to this level of aggression. We must perfect the nuclear bomb technology. Already we have nuclear power stations powering our various nefarious and or secret projects, including the mysterious Project 17, of course. But more importantly, we still need to actually refine our ability to condense that matter into a bomb and detonate it to nuclear effect. So the boffins can begin researching that at once. And in just a year, we will have the ability to drop nuclear bombs, or at least to manufacture and then drop nuclear bombs. So that'll be nice. We'll look forward to that. I don't think we should really engage in open hostilities with America until we have just a few nuclear weapons available in our arsenal, and not to mention sort of a larger contingent of jet fighters and other such things. So it looks, Gallardo, like attacking Chile is probably not going to be on the cards. If the US is enforcing the Monroe Doctrine now, and is prepared to intervene in any American wars, that probably means that war on Chile is not going to be a sensible move. Maybe in that case we could get on with some of this boosting of popularity. Boosting of party popularity. Political power. Power change per day 1. Let's boost popularity in both Chile and Uruguay. Why not? Why not do that? It's got to be a good idea, right? And we'll leave our troops lined up along the borders because I'm sure they'll enjoy hanging out in the high Andes, including probably the Atacama Desert, and other such incredibly hospitable places. Gallardo, of course, will take maximum use of this opportunity, and he will have his film crew come along and ensure that he is able to engage in some kind of filming in the incredible background against the incredible backdrops available to him. We have low supplies in the Mexican theatre, interestingly enough. Let's have a look. We have 75 of 62. We need to improve our infrastructure then up here. In fact, we are already improving our infrastructure up here. So it is just a matter of time. We just need to wait for that to be completed. Also, some of these other awesome things which are coming down the stream. We should also probably think about getting some more military factories in, especially if we're going to basically we've got a year to sit on our like backsides and decide what to do, which is not great. It has to be said. Look, we could probably notch the speed up a little bit. How are you doing up here, Canada Popular State? Is there anything that we can do to convince you of how awesome we are? Look, we can improve relations. Let's do that. We'll improve relations. We can send volunteers. We can send volunteers to help other countries in their war efforts, as long as they are not our allies. Well, they're not our allies, but you know what? We can... Oh, we're going to send Martin Bustamante. Look, we're going to... Martin Bustamante, as penance, is going to be sent abroad to fight a foreign war in the Canada Popular Front. He is going to fight for them. He is going to try and convince them of the inevitable destiny of the Canada Popular People's Front of Canada to join with us and become members of the Green Dawn and ultimately defeat the United States. Good. All right, Martin, you've currently got 2 divisions. We can send 6, so let's assign a few more troops to you for you to take up there. You might as well take full contingent. We need 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All of you lot, join Martin Bustamante. You are being sent abroad to carry the honor and dignity of the Mexican Socialist Republican way of life with you, and to teach the Canada Popular State about our ways, and to convince them that our way is the only way. The Canada Popular State will allow volunteer forces from our country to fight. Well, I mean, thanks for that. Meanwhile, the Boffins have completed research of anti-tank infantry. Good. What should we grab next? We could maybe jump up to the next level of mechanized... yeah, let's do that. We might as well... We've got a bit of time, 150 days. We'll get that bill. We can start upgrading our mechanized infantry divisions to mechanized equipment 2. Also, for the ultimate and coming war, the coming doom of our time. Volunteer forces are in transfer. We have planes available. Rocket interceptors are standing by. You might as well fly from Mexico City. Buck Rogers / Flash Gordon rocket interceptors playing the skies above Mexico City, ensuring the safety and security of our airways. That's good. What else have we got to deploy? We've actually got, I mean, loads and loads of other stuff we can deploy here. Should we put some tactical bombers in? More tactical bombers. There we go. Lots of tactical bombers. 290 tactical bombers deploying to Mexico City. Up here, what's this? This is 80 of 400. We should probably improve this airfield. Let's do that as well. Airbase. Let's improve it out 3 more notches. Where are you? And we will up the priority of that to make it an active work job thing. All the way up. All the way up you go. Somewhere. There we go. 1 of 15. It is now being worked on. Excellent. Good. You continue to do that, workers of the Mexican Socialist Republic. Build up that airfield, and we will deploy ever more and greater air assets for use in that realm. Available planes in reserves. Yeah, we know we've got lots of available planes in reserves. We will deploy them before the time of war comes upon us. It was suggested that I could attack China. Now, the problem with attacking China, I suppose I could form troops up in Taiwan. I could take 31 supplies worth of troops to Taiwan, and then I could mount an invasion potentially. I do have a naval thing there, so I mean it's possible to do it. China, they aren't in any faction. I mean we could maybe do that. We could take on China and win awesomely. We could maybe send Gallardo as an expeditionary force. Look, let's pull him back from this Chilean border, because clearly we're not going to be able to do that. I think it would almost certainly trigger a response from the United States, given their new doctrine. Volunteer forces have arrived and are ready to fight for the Canada Popular State. Excellent. Let's go up and have a look. Martin Bustamante is out there He's arrived here in this part, southern Ontario, and is marching up to aid the Canada Popular State, who appear to also have an absolute ton of American forces. 100 divisions of infantry from the US are marching around inside the Canada Popular State. This is not a good sign for us. Look at that, 144. In fact, somehow it looks like Martin Bustamante has somehow managed to gain access to the American troop movements. We suddenly have complete intelligence on all of the United States troop movements. This is amazing. Martin, way to bust the manties of the intelligence services of the United States. You have just completely exonerated yourself. The people of the Mexican Socialist Republic, when they hear about this, because obviously we can't tell them right now, we wouldn't want to give it away that we suddenly have access to all of this intel, but when you finally are given the true recognition for this awesome act, well, I mean, we're just going to be, you're going to be absolutely praised, praised and praised and praised. Meanwhile, he's just sort of up here, like tooling about in Canada, teaching them of the way and the light and other such things. How much of Canada is still left? There is quite a few territories up here, but I don't know if they've got any kind of defensive capability. I don't see any troops up there. Maybe like the Canada Popular State hasn't taken this area because it's just too cold and too remote and too wild. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Research finished. The Strategic Bomber 2 has been researched. Excellent. We now have second tier strategic bombing capability available to us, which is great. Should we just go straight on to Strategic Bomber 3? I mean, we are going to want the ability to strategically bomb all of our enemies and such. We're also going to want better tactical bombers as well. We can get jet strategic bombers. It's a 1950 level technology. Let's just pause it whilst we think about this. Is there anything left elsewhere that we think is perhaps a higher priority right now? Maybe we could get air doctrine started, as we haven't as yet done any real training in air doctrines. Let's do that. We're going to go for battlefield support, I think. By improving how close air support interacts with divisions, we can lay waste to enemy divisions with optimal support. Yes, flying information for our jet and rocket interceptors is the first order of business. Look at this. I mean, this is incredible. Look how little they've got along the border with us. I mean, at one point this was stacked high, but it seems like they've dragged basically all of their troops out. They've got loads of troops up here along the east coast, masses and masses of them in Canada for some reason. Is this an attempt by the US to subvert the Canada Popular State? Are they trying to sway them to their cause, having seen the writing on the wall for Canada, which, you know, its time pretty much has to be numbered here. Its days need to be numbered. We're going to have to keep a close eye on this. Martin Bustamante is going to have to find out exactly what is going on and determine the truth that we may respond to it. If we attacked now, though, I mean, we could make some pretty rapid progress, couldn't we? If we just suddenly surged in, we could definitely... I mean, I'm really tempted. I don't know. I guess we would have to justify a war, though, in order to make that happen. Let us not abandon the Americas right now, Gallardo. I don't think it's right to abandon the Americas right now. It's just not the right time. Recon Company 3 has been researched by the Boffins. Excellent. Recon companies are becoming ever more capable, obviously inspired by the actions and heroic activities of Martin Bustamante in intelligence gathering. Let's grab some improved field hospitals to try and reduce our casualties in the coming war. For this is, make no mistake, but merely the calm before the storm. Is there anything else, like infrastructure-wise, we should probably build up here? Let's keep our infrastructure improvement project going so that we can make sure that we don't have any real problems up here when the time comes for war, the inevitable time for war. We also have rocket sites being built which would be nice to be able to deploy. The United Kingdom exerts influence in the Republic of Turkey. The Mediterranean has long been a region of great strategic value to the imperial influence of the United Kingdom. Now, the British government is looking for further support from countries in the region. To that end, they have appointed a special consul to the Turkish state. Considering the centuries of fierce competition for naval supremacy in the Mediterranean, whether they are successful in bringing their two countries closer together remains to be seen. Who do the British think they are? Who do you think you are? You're just, a little country here. All right, admittedly, you've got large swathes of Africa, but actually, the French are far better than you are, United Kingdom, in this particular alternate history. And, more importantly, the Mexican Socialist Republic are greater than you all, even with their German industrial estate, which is just going to fall, isn't it? It's just going to fall when the time comes to those other people. However, the Green Dawn does have a few allies in the area, so that's got to be a cause for hope, a cause for optimism in the face of the tyranny which shall soon rise in the world. The Republic of Turkey has joined the Allies. Oh, it worked. Those filthy United Kingdomers managed to pull it off. We are boosting popularity of communism in both of these states, aren't we? We are. It's totally what we're doing. That's good. Join us. Join us, people of Uruguay and Chile. Perhaps we should have been boosting popularity with you some time ago, for some time already. Meanwhile, in Canada, our expeditionary forces have arrived. Have you grown any more willing to join us? Positive 44, negatives 270. If it was just their base reluctance, we'd be fine. Like, they would totally join us. But it's this, like, well, A, it's the fact that they're in a civil war, and B, it's the fact that they would rather be part of the Allies. I just don't know what to do about that. Martin is doing his best to convince them of the error of their ways. For some reason, the perfidious Americans are just kind of like playing both sides here. They're kind of stringing along the Canada popular state, whilst at the same time, Canada is a member of the Allies, and they're just kind of like, yeah, well, you might be a member of the Allies. We may have military access, but we're not going to help you. We're helping the Canada popular state instead. Outrageous. The Boffins, however, have completed research on formation flying. We now have an aerial display team of Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, interceptor pilots, who also combine their aerial displays with our new and improved, or not as the case may be, jet interceptors, which are wowing the crowds in various air shows up and down the country. Let's continue along that line and get dive bombing technology in. 254 days for nuclear bombs. 254 days, that is all we must wait. And then, my friends, in fact, maybe we should think about justifying some war. We need to bring Gallardo probably up to the front line. I think we could just leave Chile and Uruguay. Like, they're not currently members of the Allies, so it would probably be a distraction to try and take them now. I think we would probably be better off just bringing Gallardo back and having him like take charge of one side or another of the front line with the United States for that ultimate conflict, or maybe stage some kind of like awesome naval invasion and come in from the coast, or possibly even from the Canada popular state, if we can convince them to join us, to join our ways. Let's get him up to here. There we go. Gallardo, we want you back up in the Mexican Socialist Republic proper, the home territories, as it were, on that little spur of land that the canoe guy spent so much time canoeing around and generally keeping an eye on. We're going to gather our forces here, far from the prying eyes of the Americans, and we are going to plan our next and most devastating action that is yet to fall upon those who would dare to stand against us, of which there are probably some. In the meantime, we pretty much just have to twiddle our thumbs here a little bit. Maybe see if there's any other countries that we can insinuate ourselves with any of these countries maybe want to flip over, look, they would totally join us. They would accept, but for the fact that they are already in another alliance because they're in with the Soviet Union. It's outrageous. It's already in a faction, and it's a puppet. Curse you, Soviet Union. Curse you, Stalin, preventing us from securing all of the Americas. We should probably worry a little bit about these guys, the Federal Republic of Venezuela. They are members of the Allies. They were freed by the US. In fact, they're puppets of the US. So we should probably assemble a force ready to go in there and reconquer Venezuela, as it should always have been ours. The state of Japan has capitulated. The Japanese government has gone into exile, and their main forces have capitulated to the Soviet Union. Uncertain times in some far-flung part of the world where we might have a small territory. You know, Taiwan is ours, it's true. Let's create a new army here, and we will set their front line just along here with Venezuela. And, you know, they will know our wrath when the time comes. Let's get up an offensive line to Caracas. There we go. These guys are part of the Allies, aren't they? Yeah. Total ally-loving scum they are. It looks like we've got some tanky Maximos and some Mex Chicos. Let's put them up on the front line, I guess. Add them to Liam Farrell's, or Louis Farrell's, army of awesome American facings. It looks like our intel, some of it has gotten a bit sketchy once again. Concentrated fire plans have been researched. Excellent. Then we can continue on down to combined arms. Soft attack plus 10%, hard attack plus 10% enables breakthrough. Let's do it. More and better research for the troops. Gallardo, of course, is developing this doctrine on the long journey on the canoe fleet from the South Americas all the way back up to Mexico. He has taken this opportunity to write his memoirs and indeed to come up with an entirely new battle doctrine for all of the MSR forces to engage with. And undoubtedly, it will be the finest and most magnificent work on military tactics and warfare that has ever been conceived of. We have low supplies. We still have low supplies. Look, this region needs more. It needs more infrastructure. Is it already being done? Coahuila, yes, right. We need to speed up that infrastructure project. And Gallardo has arrived after his long journey. His work is complete. He has decided on the way to engage in all of the very fine and awesome tactics. Dino Enka has been holed up in his bunker for a long time. I'm pondering exactly when and how he is going to initiate the ultimate conflict with the United States, and also if he is going to be able to receive word from the Canada Popular State, from Martin Bustamante, that it has managed to convince the Canadian Communist parties to join with us against the Americans. Time is running out for Canada. Grows weaker by the day. Will the Allies accept the Canada Popular State? Who knows? Who knows? But whilst we continue to direct the boffins to develop ground support, direct ground support for our air forces, world news. British Parliament debates intervention in Scandinavia. Considering the strategic value of the Scandinavian region to British defence efforts and the potential risks of seeing an enemy build influence there, the British Parliament has debated the possibility of a military invasion. Where the political implications of such action weighed heavily on Lord Edward Halifax, several decisive arguments were delivered before it was decided that the rest of the debate should be conducted in closed chambers. Such an intervention would irrevocably change the political landscape of Northern Europe. Such action will upset the balance of power in Europe. Indeed, and we care a little bit about Europe, unlike most of the rest of the world, because of course of our industrial estate that we have there. And also Red Finland has joined, our faction, although they're fairly well insulated by Comintern, I suspect, except possibly from naval attack. Many things that Dino Enka must consider whilst he debates these things in the bunker deep below Mexico City, pondering, getting information from the boffins from the generals hearing submissions from Gallardo's envoy. Of course, he must weigh all of the ramifications carefully before he calls an end to this fragile peace that the world, well, the Americas, well, South and Central America have been enjoying for the greater part of 1945. Will it end before atomic fire can be rained down upon our enemies? Or can we hold out just a little longer? And will the Canadians join us? All of these questions may or may not be answered next time. But until then, thanks for watching, everyone. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.